Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changing. Come writers and critics who prophesy with your pen, and keep those eyes wide, this trance won't come again. And don't.
Alright, so here's part 2 of the video blog. I'm just going to take you around the garden again and show you what I've been up to the last couple weeks. Alright, so we got most of the area cleared. All that stuff that's still there is off the garden site. There's a few more beams here. Those are going to actually be for a bridge. It's going to go along here, over a ditch. It's going to go here, I should say. And here I've got laid out. I'm just working on the garden beds right now. I'm just cutting all the wood to size, laying them out. Next sunny day, I'm going to come out and stain what will be the inside. It's a natural stain. Let that dry real good, and then I got a nail gun, but I don't have a compressor yet. But once I get that air compressor, then things will start to move quite quickly. So yeah, that's all the beds I've got so far, 10 and 12 foot beds. And over here is the water line coming up, so we're just waiting for the plumber to come by to figure out where all the lines go, so I don't put any fence posts into the water line. They'll be quite handy though in the middle of the garden. And this morning I've laid out the framework. A couple days ago I went and leveled off the area, put some drain tiles, some gravel, leveled off some patio stones underneath each corner. And then the drain tile comes out to here so far. And then I'm going to put some more pipes that will run it down to the ditch that I talked about earlier. Fence line still where we planned. Let's take inside the dome here. I'm not going to be putting a pond in here, and I'm not going to be putting a workstation in here. It's just not as big as I would have liked. I mean, it's perfect for growing, but there's just no room for extra stuff like that. Not this time. I would have liked to have a pond right at the back here, built in with the beds. But that's alright, I've got a big pond out back. Still lots of space here for the workstation. This is all covered up before you can see. I'm probably going to make it a little bit bigger, have my sink and washing area down here, and then over here I'll have a box with potting soil and a little station on top for doing my seeding. And come back here, it's been cleaned up quite a bit. I don't know if you can see the slope here, but there's quite a little bit of a drop. So I'm going to have a nice wide staircase here going down to the bottom of the garden, where I'm not sure how many raised beds, and some stuff is going to be planted in the ground. So I've just covered this all up with plastic to kind of get it ready for spring, which it kind of is already. So got to really get cracking. This area back here, I don't know if you can see the orange line, there's going to be a fence line there. And then back here is going to be a huge area for the chicken garden. We'll run some fence in between the trees there and have two areas, and the chicken coop will have two doors on each side. So they get switched back and forth every 2 weeks, so they don't just turn the area to mud. I also plan to plant a lot of perennial and chicken-friendly plants inside there. Cut down on the food costs, keep the birds healthy, probably better tasting eggs, and yeah, as little feed as possible. Just let them graze the grass and whatnot. The coop will be quite big too. Not a lot of chickens. I'd like to give them 3 times the size or 3 times the area that they normally require. So they'll have lots of space and they won't just tear up the lawn in a matter of weeks. And yeah, so that's pretty it for the garden area. And I'll take you over right now and show you where I'm getting all this wood for the raised beds. Alright, so this area here, this is where I'm getting all my wood for the raised beds. It's been quite a bit of work. I've got about 5 raised beds. I've been out there for 4 days. But basically, as you can see here, there is a lot of rotten wood. The stuff was not stored properly. And so basically I've got to sort through it. And there's 10-inch nails that go right along through here. So they have to be cut off with a sawzall and without doing too much damage to the wood. So there is a lot of good stuff, but then you got to sort out the rotted and get rid of that. Pick out what I can and hopefully have enough. We do have a barn full of the same stuff that's nice and dry and been stored indoors, but need an excuse to go through all this stuff and either use it or get rid of it. I got one pile there. I'm down to the good stuff. It's mostly stuff on top that was pretty bad. So now I'm getting down to some good stuff and actually getting some stuff for the beds. Same with this area here too. There's not too much on the right side there. That's pretty much rotted all the way down. I'm getting a lot of good stuff out of here. Yeah, I have a big bonfire with the rest of that stuff. There's a pile over here of 2x2s, 4x4s, 3x3s, 2x3s. It's all mixed match, but I think that's what I'm going to use for the inside beds. Basically, the exterior of the bed's going to have to be quite on a 12-degree angle, so I have these boards at 3. I can't take them apart and rebuild them because of the spikes. And it's going to be too tricky to measure and try and get a nice 12-degree angle on each edge to fit them together, so I think I'll just stick with this stuff. It's going to look a lot nicer. It'll be faster and looking a lot better. Just wanted to show you this area here. We've got a big, huge open area here. I'm planning on planting a lot of amaranth and quinoa here, hopefully. This area is usually cut in the spring, and then it's not cut again until the fall, and it all grows about 3-4 feet tall of field of daisies. But maybe we're going to replace that. There's a lot of broom coming up. I won't take you back there, but there's just an amazing amount of broom coming up there. That area back here, you can see the deer running around there, but that was all completely full of thistle. I could use a chainsaw to take it all down. I did take a chainsaw to all the broom back here. That area was all full. So hopefully the idea is to cut the grass, but replace the daisies with the quinoa and the amaranth, which grow 6 to 8 feet depending on the area. All different colors, beautiful flowers. The leaves are edible in salads. Seeds obviously you can harvest at the end of the year. So I think it'll be a really good crop. A lot of people think you can't grow it here, but Salt Spring Seeds sells actually 5 different varieties, of which I'm going to try all of them and see what works best. So I think I'll probably do rows, long winding rows of the plants, and then leave about 1.5 to 2 feet in between each row, and I'm going to leave the lawn and just mow in between. Yeah, so that's that. It goes all the way over there. There's a pond just beyond over the hill there, which hopefully I'm going to have all my potatoes, horseradish, maybe squash down there with some temporary deer fencing around it, just the netting, which I'll stick to some T-bars until we decide that this is going to be a permanent growing area and want to really make it a lot nicer. Got to work on some of these areas, get some nice perennials and stuff. There's no deer fencing around the property. There's lots of deer here. They come to the house every day, knocking on the door for apples. So yeah, just fence off. We don't want to take that away from them. We're just going to fence off the garden areas and that's it. No need to fence off the whole property. So yeah, that's basically that. Taking the shed, it's kind of a mess right now, but we can have a quick look at the triangles that are all cut out and ready to go, and that'll be that. Actually, just on the way back to the barn, which is over there, I just wanted to show you here, I got some raspberries this fall. Not nearly as many as I'd like. Yeah, I think I'm going to do the same idea. I'm going to keep some rows about 2 feet apart, maybe a little more for the raspberries, maybe 3 feet. Keep the lawn, mow in between, and mulch right around the plants. Keep a nice clean line. But yeah, I'd like to have, guess I could probably fit 4 or 5 rows here, and this will all be raspberries. And yeah, but it's a little late now. It's springtime now, so I may have to wait till next fall before I get and plant some more. Alright, well, I think I said I wouldn't come down here, but I am down here now, so I'll just record this here. This area down here, where the deer are running away, this is where I plan to put the potatoes, horseradish, squash, stuff like that. There is some good soil here. They were poking around all over the property, planning to put in some pipes for heating, but never really happened because this was the only area with deep soil, and it's too far from the house. So therefore I know that there's deep soil, good soil here. So yeah, I got to get out very soon actually. I'm thinking about I should be out here this week. Cut this down with the whippersnipper, very short, and lay some plastic over it. Just have to decide exactly where I'm going to go. It is pretty open. There's 1 or 2 big trees here. I don't think they're going to shade too much. And this is the pond down here. I'm hoping to put a little floating solar panel, solar pump into the pond that can bring up water if I need for the potatoes and stuff. I don't see that happening this year, so maybe just carrying buckets of water up for the first year. Work on that next year. Yeah, and also going to put a bat box. I want to build a bat box and have that over the pond as well. And probably a couple spots around. Alright, so back in the barn here. It's a bit of a mess. Been working a lot at nighttime here, and painting all these. They're a little bit hard to see because they're all painted now, but these are all the triangles. Pretty big stack. I just got these few left here to paint. I've hung up some nails on the rafters and I just paint the whole thing and hang it up to dry. Here I'm working on my half triangles. As you can see, I'm not having a lot of luck with it. I got one perfect one, and I think to do a mirror image of the other side, and it's been a little bit tricky. I won't go into detail on how that worked out, but yeah, so I guess that's all there really is to see here. Triangles are all painted and ready to go. I just need to get the polycarbonate ordered. Double-sided tape, stick them on, caulking around, and then I'm going to have to trim off the edges, take just a little 1/4 inch gap out of each side so that when you fit them together there will be a space for caulking to go on the outside. And yeah, I got to so like I said, there's lots of wood in here. Actually, I've just realized today I'm not going to have enough of that wood outside because there's a lot of rotted stuff. I'm not going to have enough to do all the beds I want. So I think I will start tonight working on this pile here and using some of that for the beds. I do need this space anyways. Once all these panels start going together, they're too big to even stand up in here. They're going to be quite large, so I'm going to need a big area to kind of lay them down until I'm actually ready to take them out and assemble the whole thing. Yeah, so that's it for this week's video blog, and I'll get back to you when there's some more progress. You should have listened to your mother.